Hi, my name is Jeannie Marshall, and I'm the Human Resources Manager here at Strittmatter Companies. We are a mass excavation, trucking, and demolition company. As well, we have a company that has aggregates, topsoils, whatever construction needs, we've got that. So we've got an office in Northern Virginia, we've got one in the district, and then we have one in Maryland as well.
The company started in 1978. I remember when my dad started this business. I was in high school and ended up going to the University of Maryland Business School, and I started with the company in July of 1986. Since then, the company has grown exponentially. Back then, we were below $1 million in revenue, and 46 years later, we're substantially higher than that. The company has changed in so many different ways, but the culture that my dad put in us when there was 10 of us, now we have 300 employees, is still here today.
So a few years back, we were taking a look company-wide to see what is it that we needed to get to the next level. Then we were introduced to the Burger Group. And by working with them, they obviously spoke to the owners. They spoke to department heads to find out what it is that Strittmatter need, what could help make us that much more successful. And then we were introduced to M-Files, and that's what we all figured would make sense for us. Because we've got people in an office, but then we've got so many people who are in the field. So we've got project managers, we've got foremen, estimators are here, but they might be at a meeting. So there's so many people who were needing information, and they were needing to access it quickly. And multiple people might need to be looking at and working on something at the exact same time, not to mention the true size of our contracts when we do a job, because our jobs are a year or two long. So there's a lot of things in construction contracts that need to be accessed, but the contract itself is so massively large. And that's what ultimately helped lead us to M-Files. People could collaborate on it at the exact same time, plus if we needed to access it, it wasn't taking a long time for us to be able to work through that document.
We hired someone in-house, Gayatri, who has taken us from that point to where we are today. And we feel like we're on the cutting edge of our industry with the digital transformation.
So my name is Gayatri. I was hired as a business analyst 4 years back because Strittmatter was looking into converting completely or incorporating more technology into the company, because we were pretty paper heavy, and then Burger Consulting was helping them convert a lot of processes, bring in a lot more technology, and that's when they suggested to hire a business analyst, and that's how I was hired. So some of the challenges we had before looking for information management was we have a huge staff on the field that requires access to documents. We were our document storage was heavily SharePoint, and we had problems when SharePoint would just freeze. They were not able to open documents on the field. Another issue, a smaller issue we had with SharePoint was we would create folders and subfolders, and then folders under the subfolders. So after a point, it would say the naming was too long, and it was not able to create a file, create a document, because the location was the link to the location was too many characters, like 256 characters or something. So we had those issues. We had problems where it was not available offline to the people on the field. We had issues where people, so these folders that were created, each user had their own way of creating folders. So when the next user comes in and starts using SharePoint, they needed different a training to even go look for a document on SharePoint. So those were some of the issues we were having with document storage. So
my name's Raquel, and I am an admin assistant here at Strittmatter. I work in the contracting department, assisting the project managers.
My name is Cheryl. I work in the contracting department. I assist with all the project management and admin team. We take care of all the project managers here.
I use mFiles every day for different things. So we create our change orders in there. We use the templates that are saved and programmed to create submittals, templates.
Change order documents. It's actually helpful for filing documents. It has a good way to set up your folders and to actually manage them. Pretty much all of our project management documents, requisitions, change orders to clients, change order requests to the clients, anything submittal-wise, requests for information-wise, safety documents, everything that has to do with the project management team and the field aspect of this place goes into mFiles. A submittal is what we submit to our clients of any material that we will be bringing onto the job site. The submittal process used to be that you just had an Excel spreadsheet that you just kept doing a save as, changing and editing the info, where now the template process on mFiles allows us to create the cover pages right within the metadata card, and then it generates to the Excel template, and then that's what we turn into a PDF to submit to our clients.
My name is Andrew Donnelly. I work for Strittmatter Companies, and I am a project manager and process improvement guy. So one of the first tasks I had when coming to Strittmatter was taking a look at how we efficiently created change order requests and any other documents that had to be made repetitively. Coming from a background in Excel formulas and automation, I learned mFiles and wanted to see how we could take the same task and just reduce the number of clicks and number of windows you had to open. The way that we make change orders within mFiles allows us to create the same kind of document across any number of projects or needs, but only have to type in the information once, and then whether you need an Excel sheet or a Word document or it needs to go elsewhere, it's all just done right within mFiles, and we don't have to copy and paste a dozen times. One of the ways mFiles has helped us the most is in submittals, because of course we need to keep track of what's been submitted and what phase it's in with the client. And mFiles allows us to take the safety data sheets or the specs for a job and just simply click and drag into one folder, add a little bit of metadata, and then kick out a document with Strittmatter letterhead and on the template without, again, having to copy and paste a dozen times. You just do a couple clicks and boom, here's the same document, and we can easily ship it right out to the client. And then within mFiles, also keep track of whether it's been submitted or if it's been accepted or rejected. It makes it really easy to then kick out another table to say, okay, what submittals are good to go? What material is good to go for the job?
some of the highlights with the team have been their excellent cooperation with us, their expertise in the system, and their creativity. So any kind of customizations we need, any kind of issues we've been having, they come up with creative ways to resolve it. They come up with creative ways to customize anything we ask for. Like, we had a situation where we were creating Excel sheets for CORs. So those are the change order requests that we get from customers. So we had an Excel sheet that would have change order requests that were approved, change order requests that were rejected, and change order requests that were not paid, ongoing. So we had Excel sheets for each one, for each job, and again, there were tons of Excel sheets. So they kind of created a workflow for those. So we go in and select what stage the change order is, and then they created a view where we could only see the change orders that were pending payment. So our project management team were able to export these change order requests into one file, the ones that were pending, and they had like a log which they would send out to a customer instead of updating Excel sheets every time they had a difference in the change order request. So that was one huge help that they did for project management. The other thing, the smaller things that team went and set up with M-Files was like our IT contract documents. So we put in a document and we tell them when it was signed and for what term it was signed. It automatically tells us how long the document is valid for, and then we can pull up, we have views set up where it says when the contract is going to expire, and we set up a date as in when we should let them know if we want to renew the contract or terminate the contract. So those were some of the things that they set up. And then I think with the reports that payroll and all enter on M-Files, so they have, well, I'm not going to say it's a workflow, but it's more customized as in which user can see which kind of report. And so payroll, AP cannot see payroll reports, and only the controller and the assistant controller can see all those reports and things like that. I mostly deal with team on their on the ticketing portal, where I go in and create a ticket, and then within like 15-20 minutes I get a response from one of them on how they're going to deal with it, or they actually call me and then we go over the steps and they resolve it for us.
So one of the areas that we're also looking to improve on is our dirt logs. Right now, as a dirt company, we sample soils from different projects on a daily basis, and we currently use M-Files to house those submittals just like any other folder structure for easy access. But one of the areas that we are going to begin utilizing M-Files is creating tables and trackers just to see where the dirt's coming from in one single view, rather than going project to project and seeing what soils are there. We can use M-Files to just simply tell us where everything is, because you can kick out the metadata in an instant, and it makes it really easy to house a document and then get information about that document and get in and out quickly. It's great. It's before my time, folks would print out a letterhead, then they'd print out another document, go to the copy machine and scan it in and save as PDF. And the fact that we don't have to print anything now, we can just get a PDF from the internet and then drag it into a folder and kick out a soft copy of a document. It's dramatically saved us time and toner and paper and all the above. It used to be that proctors were we would just email our dirt proctors once we got it back from our soil testers. We would just email the proctors back and forth. And anytime we needed to put them in the submittal, it would be print and then go to the copier and put everything together and then throw it together and say, hey, here's the submittal, but we'd have to print everything out. What putting proctors in M-Files allows us to do is not only kick out a PDF without having to print and scan anything, but then also utilizing the metadata, we can incorporate the numbers behind the soil test, the amount of fine particulate, the amount of sand, gravel, and whatnot, and attach that to the document. And then anytime we need to look for a soil with a certain percent of fines, we can just filter through M-Files, and all of our proctors and all the data behind the proctors are saved in there instead of having to manually search through every single proctor, which is a couple pages long anyway. So that's absolutely saves us time.
So our partnership with Team, for the next steps, what we are thinking of was M-Connect is something that we want to be able to install with Team's help. to involve more field employees and to involve more subcontractors and all of them. We're also looking at integrating SharePoint with mFiles as another step. We're also looking at creating more workflows so that we do less of email attachments and more of workflows.
We'd like to be looked at as a family-owned business, hardworking, honest group of people who do what we say we're going to do, and we appreciate our name and the reputation we have in the Washington, D.C. area.